morning of July 11th, a man was found on the border of Transylvania. He spoke wildly of wolves and boxes of earth and blood. He gave his name as Jonathan Harker. At a hospital in Klausenberg, he recovered sufficiently to permit his removal to England. I'm still quoting from my private journal. But it's at this time that his condition remained so serious, he was committed for observation at a private ward in my hospital in Purfleet. Here, he did so well that within 3 weeks, he was completely recovered. During this time, his wife, Mina Harker, brought to the attention of Dr. Van Helsing and myself the private journal her husband had kept while prisoner in a castle of a certain Count Dracula in Transylvania. A record of a meeting that took place in my study in Purfleet was transcribed by Mina Harker.
October 1st, meeting again, 10 after 8. Jonathan next to me, Dr. Seward and Dr. Van Helsing at the head of the table.
My friends, there are such things as vampires. Had I known it first, but now I know, one so precious a life would have been spared for so many of us who loved her. The vampire which is amongst us is himself so strong that he can direct all the elements, the storm, the fog, the thunder, and he can command all the meaner things, the moth and bat, the owl, the fox and the wolf. How then are we to begin our stride to destroy him? How shall we find his place? And, having found it, how can we destroy it? My friends, it is a terrible task that we are to undertake. To fail here is not mere life or death. If we fail, we become as him. Foul things of the night, as him. What do you say?
I answer for myself.
Come near.
I'm with you.
The professor laid a small golden crucifix on the table. We took hands, and our solemn pact was made.
My friends, we too are not without strength. The vampire flourishes on the blood of the living. Without this, he cannot live. He throws no shadow. He makes no reflection in a mirror. He can transform himself to a wolf, to a bat. He can come on moonlight rays as elemental dust. He can see in the dark. He can do all these things, yet he is not free. His power ceases at the coming of the day, and then until night, he must remain in the shape in which he finds himself. And except in his coffin home, in those earth boxes, he cannot rest. When we can confine him in his coffin, then, my friends, if we obey what we know, we will destroy him!
At that moment, something flapped wildly against the window. Then...
Did you hit it?
I don't know.
we looked out the window. Against the black sky, you could see nothing.
The information. From the Count's castle in Transylvania came 50 boxes of earth. All of these, to our certain knowledge, were delivered at Carfax. Recently, 12 of the boxes have been removed. First step, ascertain whether all the rest remain in the deserted house next door, or whether any more have been removed. We must break each of these boxes and sterilize the earth with holy water, so he can no longer seek safety in it. And we must hurry.
The events of the next few days are described in Jonathan Harker's journal.
October 2nd, 5 a.m. Just returned from an empty house. Left Mina home asleep. Well, we've done our work at Carfax. The place was filthy. Air stagnant, foul, and alive with rats. We counted the boxes. Only 38 of them. And over each one, the professor went through his same mysterious work. It was dawn when we got back. We found Mina asleep. She looks paler than usual.
October 2nd, soon after they left, I fell asleep. I remember hearing the sudden barking of the dogs, and then it was silent. I got up to look out the window. There was a thin white streak of mist moving across the grass along the wall of the house. It dawned on me that the air in the room was heavy and dank and cold. The gaslight came as only a tiny red spark in the fog. I could see through my eyelids. The mist grew thicker and thicker. Suddenly, the spark divided and seemed to shine on me through the fog like two red eyes.
Come here. You shall be flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, blood of my blood.
October 2nd, 8 p.m. We are on the track. 12 boxes were delivered to an empty house at 337 Piccadilly.
My dear friends, until the sun sets tonight, Dracula must retain whatever form he now has. We have this day to hunt out all his lairs and sterilize him. Then he will have no place he can move and hide. But we only have until sunset.